Hey everybody, Kyle from KyleTech, live from the sewing room. Got a bit of an interesting video for you today. It is something I have been thinking about for a while. Um, we're going to talk about the future of like charging on your iPhone and other Apple products too. Um, will there be a USB-C iPhone? That's the question on everyone's mind. So, what really brought this about? Well, this has been rumored for a while, and people always thought this was coming for a while. I have a colleague, at my job who, like, he used to upgrade every year, and now one of his reasons for not upgrading every year is he doesn't want to be caught on the year before they switch to a USB-C iPhone. So this has been rumored for a while, and also, like, earlier I wasn't making any YouTube videos, so I wasn't, like, thinking about is this creatable content. So now I am, and also it so happens that there was an event that kind of triggered this thought, and that is very recently the EU overwhelmingly passed a law, which requires USB-C as a single charging standard. So that's the simple version. We will place a link to the law in the description if you want to read it. I will probably read all of it. I wasted time in law school and the bar, so I like to read stuff like this if I think it's interesting. And it is. So when we dig deeper, we also see that the law mandates USB-C as a standard if your device can be charged using a wired fashion. It's kind of interesting. Really quickly, we will say that this is a debate back and forth between Apple and the EU. Apple likes their Lightning port in the MFI program. They argued that forcing people to switch now would generate electronic waste, and they kind of had a point there. Unless you have an iPad Pro or you have a long USB-C cable, when you had a MacBook Pro from that time period where it's like 2016 to 2021, when they switched everything to USB-C. Like my wife, for example, she doesn't have any Apple accessories that require USB-C to charge. And my mom also doesn't. Well, she does now because she also got a new. We both got new iPad Pros. iPad M2 iPad Pro video coming soon. But the point is, like, there isn't a whole lot of USB-C in Apple that is happening unless you have a certain amount of devices, and even if you did, you have a cable, like one cable maybe. So, you're probably more all in on Lightning, especially if you bought like the MagSafe Duo. Apple has a good argument here. The EU has a better argument over the long term for people who are, they're trying to like capture the switchers. If you have an Android phone and you switch to Apple, a lot of your USB-C becomes useless. And vice versa, if you go from Apple to Android phones right now, then your Lightning becomes useless. So obviously, if you have USB-C cables, you already have the cables, less you waste over the long term. So they both have good arguments. The EU one, since we did mention that, I will say that USB-C is not equal. It's actually a very confusing port because there have been a bunch of different standards, and then there's a bit of, I think the most recent is USB-C Rev 2.1. There's also USB-C 3.1 out there, and maybe there's a 3.2 somewhere. There are Thunderbolt enabled and not Thunderbolt enabled USB-C cables. So you see where I'm getting. That's kind of confusing. So this is something that hopefully I'm sure more countries will approach and copy what the EU did here. Um, there needs to be some standards and clear advertising on USB-C cables you buy online and in store, and also what what's included with the phone, if any, and what USB-C standard it can use. Like what it can use in terms of like charging and data transmission. Anyways, that's a lot of rambling, but let's talk about some of the interesting parts here. So, everyone assumes now that Apple, is going to have to make a USB C iPhone. They're probably out of places to appeal. They don't like this law. I mean, I guess they could try to have it declared invalid in a number of different courts. Based on a recent interview that Craig Federighi and Greg Joswiak, or Joz as he's called, had with the Wall Street Journal, it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. Now, remember earlier that I said that the law says that if the phone can be charged wireless or with a wired fashion, it needs to use USB-C. So the Wall Street Journal person asked them, are you going to make does this mean Apple's making a USB-C iPhone, right? And Josh talked about the engineering, makes sense, and I agree with what he said about how government should only really be making these kinds of like decisions for value adds, and then it should be up to the engineers to figure out how best to implement it. So like making smartphones more accessible for deaf people. This is the best example. I'm sure most articles and other videos that are talking about this issue or this interview specifically mention that, because this Jaws interview and Federighi interview is kind of like the basis for a lot of this speculation now. And also, this is the best example where, they said, hey, we want smartphones to be more accessible to deaf people, and the engineers are making it better and better and better, interacting with hearing aids. This is a value add. So, anyways, it's probably been about a minute. So we'll just say Josh talked about this for a while. Then he said, we will comply with the law, essentially. He did not say that we are making a USB-C iPhone. Enter another Apple rumor that's been floating around, which is the portless iPhone. This has been a rumor for a few years now that Apple is just going to ditch the ports of the iPhone. It kind of kicked up more when the iPhone 12 series came out because of MagSafe. So, iPhones have been able to be charged wirelessly. Charged wirelessly since the iPhone 10 with the glass back. And they've been okay charging rates. Then Apple creates MagSafe, which increases the wireless charging rate to 15 watts. So now we have this MagSafe ecosystem here that we all know and love, that we're all used to. Also, the new AirPods Pro, that case charges with MagSafe. I think what is possible is that Apple doesn't go with the USB-C charging for the iPhone. They cut the port out entirely, and they use MagSafe. In its current iteration, Lightning is okay. USB-C is better. They have their maximum theoretical charging and data transfer speeds. Same thing with MagSafe. But, Moore's Law is a thing, and this law comes into effect 2 years down the road. The end of 2024, on January 1st, 2025, phones need to be charged, if charged by wires, and a bunch of other accessories, keyboards, mice, headphones, whatever, needs to be USB-C. So that's a lot of time for maybe something better than USB-C to come out, and two, Apple to improve MagSafe even better. Better charging, so we can have better charging speeds via MagSafe, power delivery chips, you know, the MagSafe controllers itself. It's time to improve wireless data transmission, so a newer Bluetooth revision, so we could get like a Bluetooth 6 or 6.1 or 6.2. We could have Wi-Fi 7 or at least Wi-Fi 6E will be more proliferated. Cellular data. We have the MM wave and mid-band 5G. So the point is, we don't know what things are going to look like at the end of 2024, but we can see wireless charging and wireless data transmission get even better. So to end this up, here's my prediction. This could be wrong. Apple will switch to USB-C for everything that's either already there or not the iPhone and portable headphones. So iPads, the Magic keyboards, the Apple remote. These are all either things that are not iPhones or are already using USB-C. iPhones and the AirPods, portless. They can already be charged by MagSafe. There are 2 years for Apple to improve MagSafe charging speeds and battery life. So like unless you're going Uber backpacking, you will probably be able to get to a MagSafe charger to top yourself off. That's it. Portless iPhone, MagSafe. That's what I think is going to happen for the iPhone in 2 years. We'll see if I'm right. Anyways, thanks. That's it. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to say I like doing these videos because I have like severe ADHD and this helps me organize my thoughts and I like doing it. So hopefully as you watch all of my videos, I'm improving over time. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching all these. Seriously. So we got some more content coming up. Please like, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. And we'll see you in the next one very soon. Peace.